Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome back to the PT Legends Show. I am your host, Scott Carpenter, and with me are my co-hosts, Big Dave Bess and Will Schiller. And today's episode is the online coaching strategy that will always work, even when platforms change. And they do. All the strategies that worked 2 years ago might not work today. We're going to tell you the Evergreen strategy that you really need to know if you're in the online coaching space or you're a gym owner or personal trainer who's also looking to get into that online space. Before we get to the episode, it's brought to you by, of course, by PT Legends, where we help you shatter the glass ceiling in your business by teaching you the exact steps on how to, at the very least, double your current monthly rates for new clients and charge your true value. What if every client paid just 2 to 3 times more than they currently are? How would that change your business? How would that change your life? This is what we teach you how to do without any more work than you are already doing. And we do it every single day. If you're interested, go to ptlegends.com or book a call from the link in the show notes if you're ready to learn more. Now, back to the show. Dave and Will, welcome.
What's happening, guys?
Another episode, baby. So, man, we've been having a lot of conversations with gym owners lately, haven't we?
Tons.
Well, one probably because the book is spreading. The high ticket for affiliate gyms is getting out everywhere. So people are hitting us up, which is amazing. God, we've had some big wins too. Like just Jennifer.
Yep.
Jennifer hit, she's been with us for 1 day. She did her first case study for $1,250. 1 day. It's crazy.
I didn't even know that.
Having a conversation with an existing person. So she's, I won't say where she's from or anything, but she's like a lot of CrossFits where it's like, holy cow, we've got these old grandfathered people at like $89, $99 a month. And my new people are only at like $139 a month. And it's just like, you can't make it work. She's been in business for 4 years. She got a year left on the lease. It's like, I love what I'm doing, but something's got to change, or by the time it rolls around next year, I'm not going to renew, and just literally 1 day, bam, it's crazy. And then Robert, holy cow, dude's on fire. 2 case studies at $1,000. He doubled his rates, no objections anywhere. And did he just do a 2K? Did I see that in the group?
His first 2K, his first non-case study. A 2K.
And even before that, he had a 2K EFT for subsequent months. Like, guys, I think he was only doing 10 to 11K out of his area. Like in a month, he's the opposite. He's only been in business for a year. So it's great. We don't have to like unbrainwash him from everything. So within like 9 days, it's a 1,000, a 2,000, and the rest were memberships, which he really went from about what, $129, $139 to $250 a month. Effing ridiculous. Like he doesn't even know what to think at this point. The messages he's sending us, he's like, I can't even believe this is real life right now. It's crazy. That's like half of his monthly revenue he made in a week and a half. It's insane. It increases EFT after that $2,000. I don't even know, by 20 to 30%. Stupid. With like 5-6 times. Anyways, I am excited, but I'm rambling way off topic. So my apologies there. But anyways, yeah. So we're going to talk about online coaching, which is, we've had a lot of conversation with gym owners. We're helping a lot of gym owners add online coaching into their toolbox, because you can easily make another 6 figures without adding any risk, right? Without adding any extra overhead or taking on a second location or hiring extra employees. It's the lowest risk with the highest ceiling, really, to keep growing. So, and that's really, Will, that's your forte, of course. So we want to ask you, like, what everything changes, right? And things are changing all over the place in terms of, hey, reels were everything. You want to get out, get reels. And then now they're starting to slow down. And the way platforms work and ads and this and that, some things work for a while and then poof, there's an algorithm change. They never work again, or they're 25% as effective. But the coolest thing, and Dave and I found this out when we hired you last year, was there are some things that are evergreen in the online coaching space. There are some things that will always work. And even if you're not in the online space, guys, listen up if you're just a gym owner or a personal trainer, because this will work locally too. You just apply it in a little bit different way. So it's very relevant to you, even if you're not in the online space. So yeah, Will, I mean, where do we want to start with this evergreen strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll start by explaining it just from its basic conditions, because it's so easy to kind of get caught into the inertia of everything that's changing in the online world and social media metrics and algorithms and things like that, which sure is important, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, if your business, and I've actually seen this a lot, if your business is totally predicated on a social media platform or an algorithm, or you're just at the effect of somebody else making a decision, like Zuckerberg, for example, then that's not a good business strategy, because what happens if that goes kaput overnight? You are screwed. I've seen that happen. Some people's Instagrams get deleted by like something just happens, and that's their business or something along those lines. So that's why having a strategy that's a little bit deeper is so important. And this is something I've dedicated my life's work to, is understanding this. And the most important thing to start with, first things first, is not thinking about things from just the tactical standpoint, but more of the principle standpoint. And the principles are the same with gym owners, the same with online coaches, honestly, the same with any type of business. At the end of the day, you are dealing with humans. Like that is one constant common thread that everybody's dealing with. So your strategy should reflect that versus a specific system or algorithm or social media profile. So that's always how I start my thinking. How when I develop things, I start with that kind of initial condition versus something that could be just a flash in the pan. Mm-hmm. So with that, what are the emotions and the feelings that humans like to feel? And understand that. And then when you're developing a business strategy, and I'll get into mine in a second, you have to start with looking at that, not necessarily what's going to get the most sales, what's going to get the most clicks. Yes, that can be important, but this has to happen first. The emotions, the human psychology, the understanding of making someone feel a certain way before you present what that opportunity is. So before I even get into it, I mean, like, Dave, what are some experiences that you've had in some other programs and mentorships and things like that?
Yeah, it's one of those, and we know who runs these programs, but they almost want you to attack people like you're a pit bull. So you have to do 20, and this is kind of across the board. This is a strategy. They try to get you excited to reach out to 25 to 30 people. Go. It's a very I call it's a pit bull strategy. It's just go with 25, like some people call it, a shuffle. There's so many names for it, but it's contact this number of people before this time, this number of people before this time. And it works. That strategy works. I've done it. It works, but it's like you're playing the game where life's a marathon and you're just sprinting the entire time. So my personal experience is I burnt out because I was reaching out to someone because they were a number, not because I wanted to build a connection with them. And in my experience, that's the biggest issue with most online coaches. They're reaching out to people because their coach says you have to have this number. You have to do 10, you have to do 15, you have to do 20, not because they want to build relationships with people. So that's my own personal experience.
Yeah. And I think, we all get the DMs that we don't want to get, right? Do we not? And some of them are just so bad. And then like, if you're getting the online coaching space, it's like, well, I don't necessarily want to do that. Right. I don't want to be that guy that's just like that copy and paste. And you're looked at, you are a number. Like I get that DM. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm probably number 24 that's getting this. Right. And it becomes, it's almost like the worst of social media. right? It's just, there's so much polarity and inflammation and, everybody just wants to get a rise out of other people and everything like that. And, it almost feeds into that in a way. You just, you look at people not as people, but like as numbers or inanimate objects, because it is online. It is social media.
Yeah.
And so it, like, your brain goes to that when you have to, I got to contact 30 people a day, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. And it's a numbers game. So blah, blah, blah. Well, we stop treating people like humans. And I don't think any one of us listening to this really wants to do that and be that person. I mean, I know that. I mean, we know all our fitness entrepreneurs. Nobody really likes to do that.
Totally. Yeah. And it's funny, like with the online side of things, like somebody could walk into your gym and express what their goals are, and you could potentially have a sales conversation with them right away. Whereas online, it's a little bit different. You're kind of starting at a negative instead of a neutral, just because of the connotation of online. Like everything's a scam nowadays, and everybody has a hidden motive in terms of how they're trying to talk to you. So you really got to fight just to get to neutral, just to get to zero, and then provide value and then go above and beyond. So yeah. And just to piggyback off what you're saying too, Dave, there's an art and a science to it. Like, sure, don't get me wrong, numbers are important. You need to track, you need to understand the science, right, behind what you're doing, and the metrics. Like Scott, you're huge on that, and understanding the profit and the conversions. And you need that to kind of direct your business. But then there's the art of it. And the art is like what I'm saying, it's the feelings, it's the emotion, it's dealing with the humans, and it's the uniqueness and the X factor that you have. And that's the difference between like just a strategy that's a flash in the pan, or a strategy that can take into account who you are as a coach and the uniqueness that you have based off your life experiences, your views, and just who you are as a person. And kind of meshing these two things together, in my experience anyway, is the most successful strategy that you can have. So understanding both of those things is important. And to describe something that's worked very well for me and in a lot of my masterminds, it's kind of like test driving a car, right? Like you're not, if you're listening to this podcast or any of us, like you don't go to the dealership and just pick up the car in the lot and say, hey, that's the one I want, whatever it is, I'm going to pay for it. No, you're going to get in that car. You're going to test drive it. The sales guy is going to be beside you, telling you all the features, telling you about the car, the fuel economy, like all of those different things, right? And then you're going to make the decision whether or not you want that car. It's the same thing with sales, same thing with online coaching. How can we simulate that experience inside of selling a high ticket offer? That was kind of my epiphany moment, because if you're trying to sell a Lamborghini to someone, you don't even let them test drive it. You don't even let them sit in it, but you're trying to push a huge price ticket down their throat. How do you think that's going to go down? So in terms of a process that I developed, and something that works very well, even not just in fitness, but in other industries as well, something called the value video. And this is a process which is much like I just described, where you're simulating the experience of what it would look like to work with the individual that you're talking to. So instead of just trying to shove a sale down their throat and tell them how much your coaching program is and trying to get them on a call right away, before you even do that, you can just provide a little bit of value, and you can be like, hey, Scott, I know you're dealing with XYZ and you want to get to ABC in your life. I just want to take 5 minutes out of my day and show you how my ABC program could work specifically for you and where you're currently at, and some of the results that you could potentially see if you apply my ABC system, and what it can do inside of your life in these other areas as well, and how it can get you to where you want to go without doing all of these things that you hate and without trying all of these different things that you've done before. And just that little experience that you would have watching that video with me or with whoever sending it in the DMs or through email, through text, it literally doesn't matter. It just goes above and beyond what anyone else is doing. And that's the thing. I mean, I can talk about the metrics of the value video. I could talk about the different systems in it as well, if you guys want. But before I do, it's just the fact that you give a shit more than your competitors. I guarantee you. So for example, in fitness, because that's the world we're in and where I came from as well, when I'm developing these strategies, when I'm developing it, I'm thinking, okay, I'm working with the little guys, right? They're not the Steve Cooks of the world or the Paige Hathaways of the world who have 10 million followers on Instagram and they can just say, hey, I'm selling a $47 ebook and get 1,000 sales just like that. I'm working with the little guys. So what is the advantage that the little guys have over the big guns inside of the space? And what that is it's the unsexy stuff. It's time, it's energy, it's focus, and focusing on individual clients to be able to provide an experience like that. So anyway, I know I'm harping here before I get into different systems, but
no, and it works. And to give you guys context on it too, is like he'll send a value video to people, but if we look at before that, I don't know if you're going to get to this, but I'm going to give him some context on the fact that you don't just randomly pick like 30 people and just like copy paste DMs to them. So the reason he's able to find these people and make a video personalized to them is because he gets to know them first. And Will teaches you where to find your people. And you don't just like add them as a friend or a follower and just DM them. Like you go into their profile, you look to see, is this somebody I would like to work with? So you don't just treat people as numbers. You go in there and you kind of learn a little bit about them. You say, hey, is this somebody I would be interested in working with? And you connect with them as a human being and like make that connection. Like I want to work with this person before you even do anything with them. And if not, it's a hard pass. If it's not something that somebody you're really excited about working with, don't do it. But this is going to you're going to get to know this person even before you really open up a conversation with them. And then we'll teach you how to do that. Get to kind of know them and their problems, to be in a great position to send them a very short personalized video that is just going to wow them. And they're going to be begging to get on the phone with you to learn more actually about your offer. Instead of you pleading with them to try and get on right with you, they'll be begging to get on. And spoiler alert, like this is why we're all three on the call right now. So this process, Will had found Dave, I don't know, maybe at the beginning of last year, I don't even know, maybe longer. And it was Dave chasing Will down. And he told me about it for months. He's like, when we're ready in the right stage, like we're going to work with Will. We're going to work with this guy, Will Schiller. We're going to work with this guy, Will Schiller. I'm like, all right, Dave. And then it was kind of time. And then, yeah, it's like us knocking on your door to set up a call, right? And then a follow-up call. And then we worked with you, right? We hired you as to work with us privately. And then it turned into a partnership, months down the road. So it's pretty cool. Hope I didn't spoil too much of your stuff, Will, but.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah.
It was really like the real life example is it's actually 2 years ago now, Will, when you originally reached out to me.
Hey, you're right.
And before we got into any of the value video stuff, it was 3 months of us becoming friends in a lot of ways. So before he deploys this value video, and that's the thing, I think in the online space, people think they're going to get clients the next day. It's I'm going to slide in someone's DMs and get them the next day. Like this is a real life example how it went down. Will and I built a relationship for 3 months. And then by the time it's that value video was deployed, I remember the exact day. Like I told Carrie, I'm like, check this out. I have a personalized video this guy created just for me. And here's the cool thing. We didn't buy that day either. So we continued to build the relationship from there. So this tactic that we're talking about with the value video, like it was 3 months. So 90 days in the making before you initially sent out the first one.
You're right. Yeah. So I'll get into that. That's a really good segue. So, I mean, first of all, you're right too, Scott. I mean, you are going out and you're picking the clients that you want to work with. Like that's how you need to think about it. That's the energy. You're not pleading with people to get on a call. You're not needing people to respond. It's like, no, when you're looking for clients, those are going to be the clients you're going to change their life and you're going to work with them for maybe 6 months to a year. You have to have that mindset instead of just trying to get people to respond to your messages. You want to switch that energy, just like we're talking about here. So when it comes to the actual value video, there's kind of 3 main concepts inside of it. Number 1 is because you're having a prior conversation with the individual. Thanks for clarifying that. Specific things about them. And because of that conversation, right? So when you're opening up the video, what you want to do is you want to help them understand their problem that they're dealing with in a deeper way. The reason why you want to do that before you offer your solution is because you need to open up their mind to what your solution could potentially be. So you need to help clarify their problem in a way that maybe they never thought of before, because A, that's going to make them receptive to what your solution is, but also B, it increases trust with you as well, because you're taking the time to diagnose them, right? Like when you go to the doctor, you don't go to the doctor and before they ask you questions, they give you pills or whatever. No. They ask you specific questions like, hey, does it hurt when I touch you here? Does it hurt when you cough here? And then they prescribe something, right? They're getting clear on that problem. So it's the same with the value video, really going deep and giving them that epiphany moment massively increases trust and makes them receptive to what you're about to say, which is step number 2. And that's your unique solution. That's what makes you different as an online coach, and developing a process that's unique to your ideal types of clients. That's something that is a little bit different than what they've seen before is key. And you want to educate your prospect on that and why applying this is actually going to get them to where they want to go versus what they've tried in the past, which is probably what they've told you in the previous conversation. And then number 3 is actually showing Karen or Jake or whoever it is, how it works specifically for them. And that's one of the biggest points. And it's the easiest point, but it's just showing them individually the simulated experience of what your process is and how it could work for their lifestyle based off what they're going through, based off what their job is, based off of their 5 kids they have running around in the house, whatever it is. And you individualize that experience, which massively increases trust. Like, just like you said, Dave, it's something that makes the law of reciprocity work for you, because 100% they're going to respond to that message. And one of 3 things is going to happen. Number 1, they're going to become a client. They're going to book in a call. They're going to want to be a client. Number 2, like you said, Dave, they're blown away, but maybe now's not the right time, but they are going to buy in the next 90 days. They're still a hot lead. What you've done is you've just planted a seed and you've watered it and it's going to grow. Now the only variable is time. Or number 3, which is important to talk about too, maybe they'll never buy. But guess what you just did? You just provided I don't know if you guys believe in karma, but you provided so much goodwill in the marketplace. You helped someone for free. That shit's going to come back to you in some way. And more times than not, they're so blown away by the experience. I've seen this happen before with my clients, is maybe they're just not financially qualified, or they just can't afford it, or they're whatever, something's up, they can't buy, but they're going to tell a friend about you because they were so blown away by that experience. And that's before they even have a sales call with you, right? So I'll get off my soapbox here, but those are just some elements that I don't care who's listening to this, gym owner, dentist, personal trainer, it doesn't matter. This process can work very, very well for you as long as you have a good offer and know how to have conversations with the ideal types of clients.
Absolutely. And I can tell you firsthand that those that didn't buy, even like gym owners and fitness professionals that I've gotten on calls with or sent value videos to, like, you build so much goodwill. And the cool thing is like when you put out your content, right, those are the people who are always going to like it and they're going to share it. And you're right. It has led to referrals. I've seen it firsthand. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's huge. I forget who said this, but it's the tribe. Maybe you guys know better. The tribe of 1,000, something like that. Kevin Kelly or something. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's like if you have 1,000 true fans.
Yes,
or
true
like
fans.
That.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So that concept mixed with this strategy, that's all you need. That is all you need. You don't have to. A mistake I see is people are thinking, oh, well, how can I scale this? And how can I get like thousands of followers and things like that? And no. This is an intimate, high ticket experience. Like, you don't need to massively scale it. You don't need to blow it up to all these different people. You can get to 20K, 30K, 40K, 50K. Just doing this by yourself. So if you're not there yet, don't worry about scaling it. Just get there, and then ask that question when you get there. So yeah, the 1,000 true fans, that's what it was. Thanks for reminding me, Scott. Having that mindset with it, and just like person by person, like, you can build an amazing business just based off that.
Absolutely. And I remember you had asked, you said once before, sometimes a barrier to people who are just new into this, Will, is they don't have an offer. They don't have an online offer or coaching system or platform or the all the supporting materials and documents and then know like, hey, how do I even fulfill this? How do I do it? Rather than just sending workouts and some macros, right? And you said you run into that, sometimes. And I want to mention this just because this has happened twice in the last week where I've talked to either gym owner who's getting into online or whatever it is, but it's just like, I need a system that I can scale. They already have employees to handle the coaching and stuff, but I need a system that I can scale, like, give and scale. That's easy, duplicable, everything. And so something that we've never talked about on the podcast is the fact that Dave and I, over the years, we've created the most amazing system that's duplicable in-house and virtual. So inside of your gym and completely virtual. And I've tried everything over the years, like every nutrition coaching system, this, that, the other. And I had a hard time. While you can do it all yourself, you might have employees that you want to leverage to actually handle the fulfillment side of it. And recently, because that's what you just get free when people start with PT Legends, like you get ours. And we do it 63 days, 9 weeks, but you can change that to 8. You can do 12. Doesn't matter. You can private label that. You get a lifetime license to use it and to white label it for your business. And so if you're listening to this, you don't have something online. We just handle it with 2 owners who were like good with everything, but they needed a system. And we were able to get them the license and they can private label it. Some are just using it as is. So I wanted to mention that because don't let that be the holdup. And here's where entrepreneurs get stuck all the time is on building the things inside the business.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's just because they want to avoid the hard work of prospecting and of selling, potentially facing rejection, right? So they just build the materials and every supporting thing. And then that fulfillment's going to change because you haven't ironed it out either. If you're new into it, that thing's going to change 24 times. So don't put that much effort into building it in the first place on your first try.
Yeah.
Or just take ours. Shortcut to success.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when we first started working together last summer and you showed me the 63-day transformation, I was blown away. I was like, wow, this is valuable. And yeah, Scott, 100%. Me working with so many online coaches, one of the biggest drawbacks was just getting clarity on their offer and getting them to start because you can mentally masturbate on that all day long, especially health coaches, right? Like we take so much pride in our system and our education and what we do. So they'll work on that for months and months and months. When if you have a system like the 63-day transformation, which is one of the best ones I've ever seen, just plug that into your business and then take our strategy and press go. Let's start building your business right away. So the biggest thing I see is coaches overthink it. Hey, Dave, like just overthinking the fulfillment, overthinking it. It's like, it can be simple. They just need that accountability from you. That's the biggest thing. So couldn't agree more.
Absolutely. So, well, we hit a lot of topics, so we'll close it up before we ramble on and talk about everything. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Okay. If you got something great from this show, don't forget to, subscribe to it, but leave us a review and more importantly, share it with somebody else that is on this journey with you or that that could benefit with this. Check out our free resources in the show notes. We'll actually drop our Instagram handles, because if you do have a question on the stuff or you have a question on, hey, I want the system for the 63-day transformation, or I've got a question for Will, I'll drop our Instagram handles in there on this one actually. And that way you can follow us. You can send us messages if you have questions on any of the shows. So go ahead and do that. And just do something, take action on this. If this is you, you need to take action no matter what step you're at, whether it's, hey, getting your offer, or whether it's starting to contact people, or whether it's asking Will a question about this stuff on Instagram. So take your first action, crush your goals, build your dream business. We will see you next week on the PT Legends podcast. Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's 7-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.